You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 20th, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Zoning Appeals. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'd like to call to order the August 20th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. If you would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mullins-Mischke.
Here.
Vern Schaefer.
Here.
John Carr.
Here.
Deb Vance.
Here.
Ernie Schmidt.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the July 16 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion, we approve them.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay. Okay, we're going to start our petitions for this evening. I want to remind everybody to turn your cell phones off or silence them. And any public comment at the Board of Zoning Appeals is in the form of remonstrance. You're either for a project or against a petition. We don't have traditional public comments. So with that said, let's start with petition number 1, which is a variance of developmental standards for Andrew Choa for construction of a pole barn with living quarters to be built before the primary residence. Property is located across from 3634 North, 400 West, LaPorte, Center Township, zoned R1B on 2.86 acres.
No, it's adequate.
Andrew, are you here? Okay, if you'd like to approach the podium, please. If you would state your name and address for the record.
Andrew Joa, 1718 North Wood Street, Chicago, Illinois.
All right, and tell us what need arises that you need to build a pole barn before the residence?
Yeah, so the main residence is going to be a future residence after my kids graduate and leave the house and go to college, so we're not ready to build that yet.
Okay, and what is the purpose of it? Are we just storing construction materials?
It's going to have no, we want to be able to use the land, so the pole barn will be there for storage vehicles, but the living quarters there will be so that we can go there on the weekends and enjoy a smaller home before we build the permanent structure.
Okay. Do we have any remonstrators tonight for this petition? Anybody for or against petition number 1? You're for it?
I don't know, I can talk. Lights on.
What kind of questions do we have as a board?
According to the picture that you have here, you have a lot, you have 2 lots that are adjoining?
Yeah, correct. I have one. The one that we're talking about is on the north, is the north parcel, and then the other one is the south parcel. That one I'm not planning to build anything on it. For now, it might be a future parcel for my kids to build a house later.
But your driveway comes through that other parcel?
Yeah, that's the current thinking.
This building has living quarters, you say?
Yeah, the plan is to have living quarters in the initial pole barn building.
So is it kind of like a barn-dominium, or?
Yes, except it's not going to be the whole building living. Only a portion of it will be living, and the other portion will be typical barn.
Do you have any drawings with you that might show the layout of the structure, where it's going to be on the property?
Yeah, I thought I provided that. I can get that. Do you have that?
It's on the last page.
So, like the exterior, what the exterior of it's going to look like?
No, I've engaged Milmar, but we have not designed anything yet, other than like the footprint. So that's roughly the footprint of the property.
Okay, and you're going to access the garage portion of it from the west side?
From the it'll either be on the west side of the building or the south side of the building. To be determined.
Obviously, this building looks to me like it's closer to the road than where proposed main residence is going to be.
Correct.
When do you plan on starting to build your main residence?
So probably 3 to 4 years would be the outside. If for some reason we sell our house sooner in the Chicago, then we would be able to build that sooner.
Okay.
Don, do you have anything?
No, I don't think so.
Ernie, what about you?
There's a possibility then if we pass this variance that we would put a stipulation in there that you have to begin to construction within a certain period of time on your primary residence, so that this doesn't become a this doesn't become a permanent residence.
Yeah, so I think it'll just depend on what that stipulation would be, because I wouldn't be in a position to start that until I actually sold my house.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I guess that's why I asked when your plan is to start construction of your primary residence.
Yeah, so that one, to give me the most flexibility, would be like 4 years when my youngest child is out, right? Could it happen sooner? Yes, but would it be a risk if that was a stipulation? Yes.
Hold on, that's what I was going to say. Then that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So if we gave you a time period, and you weren't able to meet that, then you could come back in front of us and ask for an extension.
Okay.
I'm not inclined to grant 4 years before you start any construction on the primary residence.
Okay. How does it normally work? Like, what is the time period normally?
I would say my opinion is 2 years, but it's going to depend on the entire board.
Okay.
And that's actually kind of pushing it. Normally we give a year for construction.
But this building you're going to build, this pole barn, you're going to have septic and electric
It'll
ran
have
to
septic
it.
and well, and it'll have full living quarters. The other, I don't know if this matters, but what if the home in the pole barn, right, was a structure that was connected to the pole barn with a breezeway? Then would it be considered a more conventional home?
I guess I have to ask a question, and I don't know if I'm going to get an answer. Ashley, you might know this. You know, there's a lot of people that build barndominiums now. So it's actually a home with a large garage, you might say.
That depends on the square footage.
Right.
So that would be acceptable without a variance. Is that correct?
If there's, yes,
But I don't know what are the stipulations on a barndominium.
you'd have to have at least a minimum of 1,000 square feet of living space. I don't know how much living space you tend to,
It would probably be 2,000 plus or minus.
And then,
for living space in the pole barn.
Yeah.
so
He would-
you
I would
basically
just-
label as a barndominium and you don't even have to come in
I would
front
just
of here.
call
then
it a barndominium and come back for a second home.
Okay, yeah, so that would be the question, which is, the longer term plan is to have a larger living quarters home, but I don't think you can build 2 homes on,
You would come back for a variance from us.
okay,
And I'm going to say that you do not want to rent out that garage space
yeah.
or subdivide any further.
Yeah, there's no reason to subdivide it. Is there a definition of an ADU in terms of square footage? Yes. What is that here?
It's 33% of the primary home or 800 square feet, whichever is larger. And since you don't have a primary home, it does not apply.
Okay, so if I built the primary home in the future, as long as this residential portion of the barn is 33% or less, it can be considered an ADU.
It has to be 33% exact because it's going to be bigger than 800. It's really hard to do.
Yeah,
I would just call this a barndominium, call it your primary home, and then come back for a second home when you're ready to build.
okay, so no variance then required?
Looks that way.
That would
Not
be
for
the
this.
case.
And if you have any further questions, then you can call the building department and Ashley can
Okay,
give you additional information.
that's easy then. Thank you.
Thank you. Petition number 2 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Joseph and Ann Wanda for 2 accessory structures, 12 by 20 and 12 by 24, on a property without a dwelling. Property used for personal recreation, and it's located at 4347 West, 800 North, Michigan City, Springfield Township, zoned R1B on 10 acres.
Notice adequate.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Would you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, Joseph Wanda,
14020 Thomas Drive, Orland Park, Illinois, 60462.
Joseph, what kind of things do you do out on this property for personal recreation?
Well, I hunt on the property. We use it for pretty much beach camping, beaching, go to the beaches, eat out, when we want to go eat out, get out of Illinois.
Are there lots of, I love using shenanigans when I can, so is there four-wheelers and
Well, eventually.
drinking and that kind of stuff going on?
I do have a four-wheeler, and but that's not gonna probably be stored there. But possibly during hunting season, because if you look at it, I'm gonna have, I was already granted that I can have a 20, I think it's 12 by 20 shed that's getting delivered Friday. So I already got it in the mail. I was here last month, so everything was
Right.
granted. It was just something was wrong with the address, or they put me under a different address. So
Okay. Very good. Are there any remonstrators for or against? Just gotta go through the motions. Okay, hearing and seeing none, are there any further questions from the board? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept this.
In your microphone.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good luck. Thank you for coming back in.
have a good one, guys.
All right, petition number 3 is a variance of use for the Top Therapy LLC to operate a physical and occupational therapy facility. The property is located at 101 East Michigan Street, Rolling Prairie, Kankakee Township, zoned B1.
Notice adequate.
Good evening. If you guys would state your name and address for the record, both of you, please.
I'm Beth Keene. I'm at 10351 North, 215 East, LaPorte, Indiana.
And Richard Kaminsky. I'm at 8095 North Edgewater Drive in Walkerton, Indiana.
And tell me about the therapy business that we're going to do.
We grew up in this hometown and we wanted to serve our community, and he's a physical therapist and I'm an occupational therapist, and we went to college. We always wanted to open a clinic together, so.
And this is the old bank that
Yes.
you're looking at. Okay. Are there any remonstrators tonight, either for or against this petition? Any remonstrators? Okay, what kind of questions do we have?
I'm curious, why do we need a variance?
It's not zoned for it.
Well, it's zone B1.
Yeah,
Owned commercially, but they said that we should check with getting a
yeah, I think it needs
variance
like,
because it wasn't retail anymore.
Wasn't a use.
it wasn't a permitted use, and I think it's only permitted under, I think, B3.
Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of the business categories.
Very good, thank you.
So,
So, hours of operation,
Monday through Saturday, 7 to 7.
anything on Sunday?
Nope.
Okay. Are you gonna have a sign there,
Yes.
lit, with a light on it?
Yes.
Is it gonna be on the building?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion, we accept this variance.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Petition number 4 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Bruce Built Construction, Inc. for setbacks for the 2 road sides of 10 feet instead of the required 25 to construct a home. Property is located at 105 First Street, Walkerton, Lincoln Township, zoned R1B.
Notice adequate.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bruce Young, Bruce Built Construction, 106 Caroline Drive, Walkerton, Indiana.
Okay, and I do want to mention that we had a letter of remonstrance in favor of this project. So if anybody wants to see that, they can see that in the building commissioner's office. So I know that the setbacks can get kind of tight in places, but why don't you explain the need for your setbacks to be less than
So
20?
obviously, with the new building setbacks, when you go to build a new home, you have to be a minimum of 25 feet back off the property line. Well, I don't know if you have a drawing
Yes.
of it. right now we're 5 feet from the property line on one end and we're 13 feet from the other. I can pretty much fix anything, but I can't fix this house. It's got to come down. And so it's actually for my son and my new daughter-in-law and their new baby that's coming. We'd like to tear that down, and we'd like to be able to position the house to where we can get somewhat of a backyard. It's not much. We don't have a lot to work with even with this, but we're going to be able to make it work if you accept it. But it gives us a reasonable size house, not anything too huge. It's a 1-story on a crawl with a 2-car garage, and it'll just position things out nice for us to get it in the right position for the septic system and everything that is needed to put the build together.
Well, congratulations, Grandpa.
Thank you.
And yes, we would like you to tear this down too. So.
Yeah, you've answered 2 of my questions. I was wondering if this was a spec home, but it's not. It's for a family member, and there's a lot across the street. Is that a lake access lot or something?
That is one of our parcels, correct.
Okay.
Okay, so are there any additional remonstrators tonight, either for or against? Bruce, if you'd have a seat, do you want to come up and speak in favor? Go on the record?
That's my son.
Yeah, come up.
That's my son.
Come up. Yeah. Every little bit helps. And state your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Brandon Young, 388 LaPorte, 388 Melrose Street, LaPorte, Indiana.
All right, and you're in favor of the project?
I am, yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any further questions?
Bruce?
If you'd like to come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Bruce Allen. I live at 3193 West Shorewood Drive in LaPorte. I am the executor or the court-appointed representative for their next-door neighbor there. And right now, like I said, I don't know whether I'm for or against based on it's my mother's property next to them, and I just wanted to see what it entailed, how close they're going to be to my property. So.
How does 10 feet sound?
We're going to be a lot further than 10 feet from here. From Mr. Allen, I can show you the drawing.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yep. I'd
Very good.
be happy with that then. Like I said, what about septic and stuff like that?
I have a drawing.
Okay. I'll talk to him after.
Very
Thank you
good.
for your time. Appreciate it.
Wonderful, thank you.
Call me a 4 then, I guess.
All right. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to entertain a motion.
I move that we grant the petition for variance for Bruce Brill Construction for the setbacks, with the stipulation that we make sure that we don't drain anything from your property onto the neighbor,
Agreed.
Absolutely.
and take care to do that. And obviously, it's good to have good neighbors. So
Absolutely.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck. All right, and finally, the petition for variance of use for Matthew Muller for construction and operation of an outdoor storage facility. Property is located east of 5502 East State Road 4 in LaPorte, Pleasant Township, zoned ag on 2.63 acres.
Notice is adequate.
Okay, thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record?
Matt Muller, 5652 East State Road 4, Mill Creek.
All right, Matt, is there a big need for storage in the area?
I just believe that it could be a good thing in the long run, yes.
Good location? And it looks like phase 1, you're gonna have 6 buildings?
Depending on how much room I need to space in between the buildings, I'm thinking 30 to 40 feet. Might just be 2 rows as opposed to 3 in the drawing. Once I really get to measuring everything out, then I'll know more.
How many units are you planning on having?
With those, if I do it the way that I'm originally thinking, each one would be, let's see, 10, so 20.
And
20 with the potential of possibly more, depending on how fast they fill up.
Okay, and 10 by 10 is the size of the
10 by
unit?
10 with a 100-foot building, so no, that'd be 40 total.
Very good.
Every once in a while, I'm a guy in blonde, you know, half of my intelligence is gone.
It's all right. Do we have any remonstrators tonight, either for or against this petition? Matthew, if you'd like to have a seat, we'll hear from the remonstrators. Good evening.
Good evening.
If you would state your name and address for the record.
My name's Ken Rosentreater. My address is 5502 East State Road 4, Mill Creek, Indiana.
My name's Anita Rosentreater. I have the same address. I live with him. He's my husband.
Okay. What are your concerns?
Our concerns are that something like that should be, that is farmland, zone farmland. We've lived in our house for 30 years there, and we bought that house in the purpose of being out in the country and being able to observe the fields and wildlife. I really don't want no storage facilities next to my property. You know, I've known that them bring bugs and rats and stuff like that, and we just don't feel that we want that next to our property.
Anita, do you have anything additional you want to add?
Well, I think that, you know, I mean, I don't know what the total circumstances is in his ideas, but, you know, going into looking at the property, I realized that he bought property behind our house also. So I'm thinking, so they have the idea of just taking all of our view away from us. You know, and, you know, just like he said too, you know, with all the creatures, you know, I do know that, you know, there's roaches and bed bugs and mice that bring snakes, and we do have coyotes. I've had coyotes in my yard. I don't need any more, you know, and I just think that they're just impeding on us. They have all them greenhouses. That's his parents. They're all family over there. Why don't they build behind their place? Impede on themselves rather than impede on us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Matthew, if you'd like to come back up. So are you planning on having any fencing around the property?
I'm planning a chain link fence around.
How high?
As far as what because I've kind of scraped away some of the topsoil. I've stayed 8 feet from the highway. I've stayed 8 feet from their fence row, and there is nothing in the back now. As far as going anywhere behind, we don't own any of that. So
you
no. What I took it that as she meant is, well, can't you go behind the greenhouses and build?
Oh, but you do own an L-shaped parcel, excuse me.
Yes.
Yes,
I own
wrap
an L-shaped
around.
parcel. Correct.
So phase one does not show the storage buildings behind their property. What are the chances of phase one, in your opinion, phase one's going to fill up so quickly and then you're going to move on to phase two?
As how fast?
Yes.
Truthfully, that would be very hard to guess. You know, it's I would assume 40 units would fill up relatively quickly if you start doing some legwork and touch base with some of the storage units around the area. There's also a limitation on how much that you can truly build, because that driveway there, I access to the greenhouses, so I can't go any farther towards the greenhouses part, because I still want to allow easy access for semi trucks, tractor trailers, because I know how hard it is for half of the trailers to get around places. The easier you make their lives, the easier you make everybody's lives. And then everything will have lights, there'll be security cameras, so she shouldn't have to worry about any pains. But it's one of those things, you never know what people are going to do. You know, you can do as much as you can to prepare, to be cautious. but you still never know.
What kind of access are we looking at? Is it going to be 24/7? You enter with a card or a number?
What my plans are is an electronic gate.
Okay.
If you see where the access point is coming off of the highway, if you go roughly 50 feet, I'm thinking 30 to 50 feet off of the highway, there'll be a chain link fence. The gate will be on there. They pull in.
And you
24/7, you can have access.
I would, yeah.
And you will need to, if we approve the petition, you're going to need to talk with NDOT about a egress, ingress, because it's on a state road.
Okay.
Okay, so you're aware of that, and the fact that you might have trailers and things, you might need to extend that.
Okay.
Okay. I have to agree with, I'm not super fond of the idea of coming all the way around their property. I live in the country. I don't know how I would feel about storage units behind my house, but.
Well, I mean, if they wanted, what we could do is we could put a row of arborvitaes to where, you know, that way they're looking at greenery. You know, I'm just trying to make everybody happy, and
I agree. Me too.
We've had some issues before about multiple storage units, you know, mini warehouses without any kind of plan for water holding capacity. You know, you're gonna runoff issue here. I'm haven't been on the property, but I know that when you put all those roofs and gravel, that you're gonna have a problem with water on occasion, where it has to go somewhere.
Correct.
And it can't. There's no retention area that I see in your plan.
Right. So usually when someone comes to us with a project like this, they have some engineering done with retention or where water runoff is going to stay. It needs to stay on your property, and as Vern mentioned, because of the roofs, there is a lot more tendency for that to be an issue with gravel. I don't know what the soil types are out there.
It's heavy clay.
So that's not going to lend itself real well to draining.
As long as we put some kind of retention.
I would like to see kind of something engineered a little bit more intentional than just this. I mean, I don't feel good making a decision on this based on the information you're providing. And I know that's going to cost you a little more money to go out and get somebody to engineer detention, retention, and kind of see what really is going to fit on the property and turnarounds and things of that nature. But I think that's something I'd really like to see.
Can I ask a question then?
Please.
If we follow through with the engineering and all this, would you guys have any issues?
Yeah, I still wouldn't want it next to our house.
Sir, Ken, I'm gonna need you to come up to the mic so we can get everybody on record.
Yes, I still would have a problem with that. I mean, I really don't want the storage place next to our house. As far as the property behind our house, if you stand back and you look down the line at all the greenhouses that are previously on your property down there, that is all in line that is going to run right behind my house. Just like what you guys did behind all the neighbors' house across the street.
Oh.
You guys blocked everybody's views back there. Some of the people that live there were all renters at the time when you guys tried, get that all to go through. We were not willing to sign anything stating that you could put greenhouses back there, but it ended up happening anyways.
Well, we were doing land contract, and they ended up going to our parents and had them sign it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Conrad had come over and talked to us about us signing for the greenhouses to go back there, and I told him I didn't want them back there.
Yeah.
We knew the people across the street. They were in the process of buying that house. They didn't want them back there. But yet, being as how we were on land contract, Conrad went to my parents' house as we got the house through, and had talked them into signing for it.
Okay, so I'm going to stop everybody. How do you feel about the vegetation planted along the perimeter
It's blocking your view.
Yeah, I don't want
I mean,
nothing planted around my
behind us,
property.
definitely. I mean, we've got
I mean,
beautiful.
one at a time.
Oh,
I can't get both of you on the record if you're talking at the same time.
we have a beautiful view as it is now, you know, through our backyard. You know, we've got a field and trees, and it's just beautiful. We have still deer that come in our backyard, you know, so I mean, it's definitely living out in the country. And if they put brush right there, then that's what we're gonna see. We're gonna have like a wall there, in other
So
words.
would you rather see storage units or brush?
I'd rather see neither.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Matthew, are you willing to get some engineering done and see what
I'll
we can?
definitely look into it, yes.
Okay, and you might talk to them about line of sight and things like that might help with the situation.
Alrighty.
Come back in to see us.
Alright, I appreciate it.
Does that, so I need a motion for us to table.
Yeah, we'll table it and let's set it for, what do you think you need, 90 days? Yeah, set it 90 days
90?
down.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna need a motion to table.
Table it for 90 days.
And I second it. I have a motion and a second to table for 90 days. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Will you announce the date of the next meeting that they're gonna be on? That way they don't have to renotice.
Yes, I will. Unless Ashley gets to it first.
November 19th.
90 days.
November 19th. And you should be first. Okay? First. All right. Is there any other business in front of the board tonight? Okay. If there's no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. All right. Good luck.